Okay, welcome back, guys. So continuing from where we left off, so I just want to make a few things clear which I did not touch over in the previous lesson. So that will be, so when you close Maya and then you open your project again, you need to scroll down to set projects, and then you locate that project file or project folder you had created initially. And then once you find that, go back, select that folder and click set. So once you're done that, then we're good to go. Then one more thing which I did not mention in the previous lesson was that after creating this cap for your mesh, from your mesh, you need to make sure it has UVs. Very important, because our texture or painted maps that's going to be working with XGen are going to be using the UV map for creating density for hair and um, some other texture related maps for XGen to create your XGen guides, XGen curve, XGen max, and the rest. So just to make sure everything is set, I'll go to the scalp eyebrow lashes. Let me hide this. So for now, I'm just going to put all of this in a group. I'll group this. I'll drag this group on top of everything. I'll drag this below everything. Just put this here. Name this head. Name this head and garments. Okay, that's fine. I'll do a quick save. So now we're going to temporarily hide this. Control Shift to hide this. Shift H to reveal this. Okay, Shift H to reveal this now. Making sure you're using the Lambert shader on this, which we did in the previous lesson. Let me go to objects mode. Okay. All right. Then so I'll go to my UV layout, or UV workspace rather. Go to my perspective view. Then I have this mapping here. So all I have to do is to select this shell. Select this shell. I'll go down to arrange and layout, and I'll hit layout for this. I already have a setting for this already, so I'm just going to show you guys after this is done. So now we have this, which is good. It's exactly what we need. Okay, so my UV settings for this UV layout settings for this is nothing too complicated. The only thing I actually changed was it should be on, maybe increase this to 2K, share padding 20, tiling padding 10. This should be on this. Everything else is okay. Everything else is almost like defaults. So the default for the rest are okay, except for this texture map size, shell padding, and type padding. Apart from that, everything else is good. So I'll click on this scalp head also. Shift H to reveal that. Okay, then I'll select that. All I have to do is just to do the same thing. Okay, I think this is in the right position already. This looks good where it is already, so that's fine. So I'm not going to be adjusting that. Okay, welcome back, guys. So I just think I went to grab some more geometry for our head base mesh, for our scalp mesh rather, for the head scalp mesh. So I went to gather some more geometry from this, from the head. So the UVs are fine. We can obviously use these UVs. So now that we are here and the UVs are all set, I think we're good to go to begin to texture this. So let's start with let me hide this. Okay. Let me hide this first. I'll hide this also. Let me drag this under the scalp. I'll hide this also. So we're going to be working with this scalp for the eyebrow and eyelashes. Okay. So I've already given this a Lambert material already. It already has a Lambert material which I named to scalp, brow and lashes, which is fine. So let me go in here, just properly zoom in here to see. Okay. So now that we have everything set up, we can go and bring out the layout for this. Let me just remove this. Let's change our workspace to U to XGen. Then I'll drag this guy out of the way and just drag this all the way here. So now that we have this layer in here now, I want to create some more space here. I'll pull this out. I don't need this. So just clear that out. This is fine. So to begin this, we're going to select the mesh we're going to use to create our eyelashes. Then we'll go to XGen, create new description. So for this, our collection is going to be eyebrow and lashes, or we can still use the same collection for everything that has to do with the hair for our model. So this collection will be like it will be like the folder where we're going to have different subfolders for our hair. So the subfolder is going to be like eyebrow, eyelashes, and then head hair, or long hair rather. So I'm going to name this to scalp del underscore hair. Okay. So we're going to be using these splines used for long hairs and vines, which is good. Then randomly across surface is also good. The only thing we're going to change is this place guides, placing and shaping guides. So we want to kind of place our own guides and shape the guides to our prescribed needs. So I would leave this the way it is. Now come here for this description. This description is going to be like the subfolders for this main collection or main folder here. So since we're starting with the eyelashes, I'm just going to name this eye underscore lashes. No, eyebrows rather, eyebrows. Okay, this is fine, all good. So click on create. So give this a minute to create. Now we have this created. So now we need to start generating, in turn of caps lock, we need to start placing guides on this to kind of generate our hair. Now this particular XGen section of our tutorial is not for absolute beginners. So you can just go online and then look for beginner tutorial to use to kind of get an head start about what XGen really is before you carry on from this. But regardless, even though you're a beginner and just follow step by step everything I'm doing, which I'm going to be explaining, you should have absolutely no issues, I believe. So carrying on, so we're going to so I'm going to kind of place a guide. So we need a guide to kind of create our hair from. We need some guides to create our hair from, or we can create curves and use those curves to generate our guides for XGen to generate hairs from. But for now, I'm going to be placing guides instead. So I'm going to start by placing guides. So to create a guide, you can do this from up here, this plus sign, add. You see add down here. You see add or move guides. So yeah, okay. You can see this also. You can find them here also. You can find some of the tools here in here also. So this is it. Add and place guides. So click on this. So you can adjust this icon by holding the B key and then adjust this with the, I think I'm using my pen, so I can't tell if it's the right mouse button or left mouse button, but just try any of them. Holding down B and then just drag up and down, you can see this size adjusting. So I think I'm going to go to, I think I can do this better from the front view. I can do this more accurately from the front view. So our hair is going to be starting pretty much. Let me select that again. So we need something that goes across like so. So I'm going to start from here. Let me shift this like so. I'm going to click something from here. So now we have a guide. So I want to kind of carve out the region where kind of place guides where our hair should be sprouting out from. So I'm going to leave some gaps. Some gaps that will kind of guide me as to where our hair should be. So like this. Then it kind of fall all the way down here. So if I should go to my perspective view, I have something like this as a guide. Now let's drop one down around here. Okay. So now if you want to kind of adjust this, I want to kind of move these guides some more if you want to. You hold down the control, okay, go to selection tool, select this guide, hold down control with the middle mouse scroll. Hold down control with the middle mouse scroll, you can, let me select this again. Hold down control with the middle mouse scroll, you can kind of move this in place like so. Something like this. You can see I'm kind of carving out the region where the guides should be. So I want this, I'm going to select this one. I want this to be like on the center point, like around this point where the hair kind of stop. So we'll select the add guide or move guide, hold control, middle mouse scroll, drag this around here. Here should be fine. Okay. So now that we have this in place, we can now begin to carve and shape these guides. I'm going to carve and shape these guides. So I can go back to, okay, before I do that, let me just go back in here to this, the front view again. Since I have the length, the height, the kind of the top parts, it's kind of create a guide for the bottom part also. So I'm just going to use that corresponding angles for this. Probably something around here should be fine. Something around all the way here, closer, like so. And I can pull out, drag something all the way here. Okay. Something like this should be fine. Something like this should be fine. Maybe I can just make some more adjustments to this. Hold control and drag this all the way here, like so. Kind of tap one in here. Okay. So I have this like a guide. So now I can begin to shape this in place. So these guys are more or less like curves also that have points in between. They also have points in between. So to kind of shape these guides, I'll go to this my sculpt tool, select this guy, put my selection tool and select this guy. So there should be a shortcut key for this. Shortcut key for this is Q. So if I select this now and I hit the Q key, it goes to my selection tool. If I hit the Y key, it goes to the previous active tool. So I cannot switch in between these two. So initially I have if I go to let's see, if I go to rebuild curves, rebuild, so I have like 5 points on this curve or on this guide. Let's use the right terminology. We have like 5 points on this guide. So I'll leave that as it is for now. If there's any need to adjust this, I will. So let's begin to drag and pull this in place like so. Just find a good angle for this. Okay, something like this. So for now, we're just kind of blocking things out. This is just blocking things in. Just kind of blocking. It doesn't have to be extremely detailed for now. Just have to kind of block things out. Y on the keyboard, drag this like so. Just blocking things out. Just blocking things out in the direction of how an eyebrow should be more or less facing. Okay, select this guy and just keep blocking this. Trying to make sure it's following a direction. So it should be tilted upwards a bit. Pull this in place. This one should be something like so. And I'll push this down. So the idea is to start with very few guys so that you can easily control them. So in case you need to make some adjustments on them, it's much easier to control. So I'm kind of looking at this peak right now, this peak. So that will give us the a better angle on that peak. So trying to capture that. And select this. Kind of make this tighter. Kind of tighten this up, facing that peak. Then this one should be slipping downwards like so. Let me just capture a good angle on this and see if this is down like so. And this should be flowing this way. The less core points you have on them, the much easier it is to control. So we have one more. This one should be like facing here. Something like this should be fine. Select this one. Kind of push this out like here. Push this in like so. So it just takes patience to kind of get this in the direction you want before spotting out some hairs around them, and then kind of make the desired adjustment you need. Okay, just taking this from an angle. Okay, this is the part you just need to be patient with. Kind of get this to look good enough. Okay, so I think I kind of captured the direction I need it to be. Perhaps there might be an issue here. Perhaps there might be an issue here. Maybe I need to pull some of this down a bit. So I'll select this, kind of push this down like so. Maybe this region here is just too high out. Maybe I'll need to pull this down some more. So select this guy. I'll click in here. With the mouse, drag this down here. Select this one also. With the mouse, drag this down here also. Select this. With the mouse, drag. Select this. With the mouse, drag. Okay. This is the part where you kind of kinds of gets tricky. But with continuous adjustments, you can get this looking as accurately as you want it to be. Okay. Just kind of looking, eyeballing this region. Just kind of eyeballing this region to know. Okay. Okay. Maybe I'm being the sideways, which is quite deceiving. Let me do this from this view instead. So I'll do something like put something like here. You notice what I dropped in a new guide. It kind of mimics the closest guide. I'm trying to mimic the direction and the uh, sculpted pattern or sculpted form or shape I have in there. You can see how closely it tried to mimic that shape and form. Okay, so let me see. This should be fine, I believe. Let me just see. I can sculpt this in place. Select this. I need to kind of change the direction a bit. I'll select this and I'll pull this down like so. Kind of change the direction of that. I think I probably need. I think this one, I need to shorten this just way too long. On the direction, I'll just tilt this down some more. You can see some piece in here, like this region. I'm going to tackle that in a bit, but for now, just going to just thinking to pull this down, and I need to pull this down. This needs to come down a bit. This needs to come down a bit. Much closer. And here should be fine. Select this guy also. And the sad part is that I can't select all of this and then pull them down together. Unfortunately, I can only pull one at a time. That's why you see me just pulling just one at a time, which is time consuming, but unfortunately it is what it is. So I'll just pull those down. Select this guy. I'll delete this for now. I think I'll push some of this down some more. Select this guy. I'll push this down also. Okay. I can select this guy and then do something like this. Okay. Select this guy and then push this down. Don't worry, all this will make better sense as soon as I start growing some hairs in between. I think I need to create one more guide here. Somewhere around here should be fine. kind of sculpt this in. Okay, so let's since we have something like this, let's generate some hair from this. Let's see what we have. So just increase this. You see how generating hairs now. See how they're all over the place. So we don't want hairs to be all over the place like this. So we're going to create some map to kind of paint out where we want the hairs to grow from. But before we do that, I would like to first things first, let me change the now this modify CV curve is like more or less like a resolution for your hair guides. How detailed you want your hair guides to follow how detailed you want the hair strands rather to follow your hair guides. So I'm going to add more detail to this. So let me use something around 12 for now. Though we still need to kind of add more details to the guides itself from from our rebuild here. We need to add more details to that. To add more points to that, kind of create some more interesting curves to it, and then that will now when we do that, this higher CV count we have up here will kind of mimic that detail we have on the guides when we rebuild. I know a lot of talk, but I'll show you guys in a bit. Just flow with me. So I'm going to adjust the sizing of this hair strand. I don't want this size is just too much. I have a guide for the size of this my hair strand. Something like this. The width should be 0.01. So come in here, 0.01. Then this taper should be 0.7100. Copy that. And I'll paste the same thing here also, but the one should be 6. Yeah, that's fine. So now that we have something in here like so, though I'll still want to make I think I'll need to make the width a bit thicker than this. So let's use something like around 2. Probably 2 should work just fine with 5. Okay. So now I want to kind of paint out the region where we want the hair strand to be. So I'm going to paint out that region now. We don't want the hairs to be all over the place. So I want to paint a region where the hair strand should be. But before we do that, I'd like to test something first. I would like to mirror this to the other side. I hope it mirrors to the other side, because I feel it might not work because of some issues. Because of this particular model is not centered on our grid. But let me turn off the hairs for now. Select all of this, and I'll use the mirror tool. Yes, I knew it. This would not mirror accurately to the other side because my model is not directly centered on the grid. Not centered on the grid. But no worries. Select all of this, I'll delete that. No worries. What I can actually do, I'm going to do something like this. I would think I would. I'm going to select all of this, and I'll go to the utilities, and I'll do a. Let me start by doing I'll convert these guys to curves. So guys to curve, yes, guys to curve. Accept. Guys, yes, it guides guides to curve. Yeah, this is what I want. Keep hide. Let's do a delete first. Okay, so now I've converted this my guides to curve. So I should come in here. I should have them as curves now. So now that I have them as curve, I can move them and put this back. So what I will do is so I'm going to use go to poly modeling, and I will do a mirror. Current selection doesn't match. Let's see. Seem to be having an issue trying to mirror this to the other side. It seems like this won't work as correctly as I want it to. Well, there's no problem actually. I think I'll just do is that I'm just going to work on this region, and then all we have to do is just to mimic what we have done here on the other side. It's a bit of an issue, but I think I made the mistake of not positioning putting this in the center of our grid. I should just show you. Let me just show you guys how to correct this. There's our grid. Yeah, this is a grid. Yeah. So this ought to be in the center of this grid. It ought to be in the center of the grid for this to actually work correctly. It should be on the center of this grid, but I didn't put that in the center of the grid. Okay, you know what, guys? Let's fix that. Let's get this to be on the center of our grid. Let's get this on the center of our grid. So just to be on the safe side, I am going to delete this XGen we just created. This XGen collection we just created. I want to leave the curve because we're still going to need the curve. So what I'm going to do is to select. Let me turn this back on. I'm going to select all of this. Select all of this. Put them in a single group. Name this all. And then let's center this. So I'm going to put this on the center of our grid. So I'm going to try as much as possible to align this to the center of our grid. I'm going to be using this axis to kind of capture this correctly. Turn the grid in here also. And just making sure this is in the right place. Okay. So just to confirm, I'm going to create a sphere just to make sure everything is in the right place. So that's the center. Just put this here like so. Just put this on the center of this exo should be fine. Then all we have to do is to go back to the scalp mesh, or hide this again to the scalp mesh, and I'll do a freeze transformation for that again. Center pivot on that. So we still have our guys in there. Let's see if this fixes it. So select all this. Okay, first of all, let's select this. This is the right one. Yeah, this is the right one. So the freeze transformation, delete by type history again. I'll do the same thing for this freeze transformation, delete by type history. Let's hope this doesn't mess up XGen. Let's just hope this works correctly. Okay, select this. I'll create a new description again. Collection will be, let me just name this new girl hairs. Placing and shipping guides. Description should be new eyebrow. Okay, create. I believe everything is in the right place. Create. Okay, so we're going to convert these curves into guides. So go to utilities again, curves to guide, turn this off, curves to guide. Yeah, delete curves. You should be on delete curve. Yeah, delete curve is fine. So we have that now. So let's see if we can, let's go back to XGen. Let's see if we mirror this. Confirmed. That's good. So now we fix that. So this is pretty much where it should be. Maybe just minor adjustment, we can get this to look very good, but for now it's fine. So we kind of generate some hair in here. Let's go back to primitive and just dialing back our settings. So that's how to fix that. 0 to 5, I believe. Then this should be, I think we still have the pasted. Yes, we still have this. I'll just change this to 6. So let me generate some more hair. Generate some more hair like so. Okay, so yeah, so we have something in there now. We'll just minor adjustments. We're just going to make minor adjustment on this, but for now this looks good. So now the next thing we need to do is kind of paint a map where the hair should be generated from, which we're going to do in the next lesson. So we're going to tackle that in the next lesson. So see you guys in the next lesson, where we kind of paint out maps for where we want our hairs or eyebrow to grow out from. So see you guys in the next lesson.